Before we begin today's video, I'd just like to let everyone know that I've recently reopened my GoFundMe for brand new sound equipment, so if you'd like me to have cleaner and crisper sound, then consider donating to my GoFundMe today in return for awesome rewards. Thank you. Howdy folks, Jamboree here. In today's video I'm going to be doing a Patron requested review of Henry Selick's Monkeybone. Stu Miley is a cartoonist who has found success with a new animated character called Monkeybone. On the night of a party being thrown for Monkeybone premiere, Stu plans to propose to his girlfriend Julie. Unfortunately, the couple end up in a car crash, which results in Stu being stuck in a coma. Stu is sent to a scary underworld full of monsters and meets Monkeybone in person. Meanwhile, due to an agreement once made, Stu's sister plans to pull the plug on Stu if he's still in a coma after 3 months. So Julie tries to concoct a formula for a nightmare juice to wake up Stu. Monkeybone agrees to help Stu find an exit key out of this hell, but the little cartoon scamp betrays his creator and takes over Stu's body, while Stu is sent to jail by the god of sleep, who was the mastermind behind this whole scheme. Monkeybone uses Stu's body to enjoy the cartoonist's new flashy life, and plans to turn a Monkeybone fart toy into a nightmare juice releaser. This movie was a box office bomb that was ripped apart by critics at the time. While I wouldn't say that it's as bad as people have made it out to be, I mean it's at least watchable compared to most turkeys, I can see why it wasn't a huge success and didn't charm audiences. The whole movie is this bizarre mishmash of ideas. It wants to be a raunchy comedy, but it doesn't go all the way, leaning way more towards being childish than adult.
Right! You got yourself a deal!
At the same time too, it also tries to be a black comedy by finding jokes out of how nightmarish the underworld is. So, in the end, adults will find it to be too silly and juvenile, and it's maybe too inappropriate and scary for kids. I actually have no idea who the target audience ever was.
Did you bring me cough medicine?
How about that nightlight I asked for?
King, you pussy.
Bite me, ho.
There's lots of different special effects techniques being used as well. Stop motion, puppetry, makeup, and CGI. Sure, it's cool that the film wanted to embrace every effect equally, and the amazing world of Gumball showed that mixed media storytelling can work. But Monkeybone does not do it justice, because techniques are being applied at random, and you can really tell that it's the budget deciding which character gets which special effect. I can't say that the film does anything special with its premise either. When you boil it down, there's nothing here that's any different to movies like Beetlejuice, Ghost, Cool World, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, or Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. If you've seen those movies I've listed, you've seen whatever Monkeybone has to offer. Sure, I didn't expect this film to be 100% original, but when I'm distracted comparing it to lots of different other existing movies, you know it's lacking in creativity. I also can't think of anything in this movie that's fresh or inventive. The movie doesn't even do that much with Monkeybone himself and his dynamic with Stu. I get it, the whole shtick is that Stu is constantly annoyed by Monkeybone antics. It's a simple traditional comedy duo routine, but this is a bad example of that trope. First of all, I found Monkeybone to be painfully unfunny as a character, because he's all chaotic energy and zero charm.
Hiya, Stu.
Hello,
I did not buy that this annoying shit was a hit with the public mainstream, and I wasn't sure what was supposed to be appealing about him. He's like a hornier and more obnoxious Bugs Bunny, without any of the wit or charisma.
time for a little singing, a little dancing, and of course some good-natured bashing of my very own creator, Mr. Stupid Mopey. Hey, guys!
I also didn't get why Stu kept letting Monkeybone tag along with him. Stu is clearly fed up of Monkeybone, he doesn't need to hide Monkeybone in a world this weird, and he doesn't really need Monkeybone on his adventure. Once Monkeybone betrays Stu and starts using Stu's body, the whole novelty of a stop-motion cartoon character sharing the screen with a live-action actor is suddenly gone. From here on out, it's all on Brendan Fraser to keep Monkeybone personality in the film. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Brendan Fraser fan, but I don't think he does a very good job channeling Monkeybone into Stu's body. When you look at Monkeybone animation sequences, he's wild and zany, jumping around, changing characters, making fast quips, and eating the scenery. Fraser's Monkeybone is certainly quite the smug jerk, and Fraser does a good job playing up being rude and cocky.
Makochi? Hey. My refrigerator, where I store and chill my food. And this, the oven, where I cook my food. And if you'll step this way, you'll find my dining room, where I eat my food.
But I never believed that Monkeybone was the one puppeteering him. You could argue that Monkeybone is trying to downplay his wacky personality so that he can trick people that he's really Stu. But Monkeybone is far from a cunning character, and tends to be lazy about his Stu act. It's very rare for Brendan to get a cartoony moment. I mean, look at Fraser's performance in George of the Jungle. He can play a live-action cartoon character under the right direction. Stu himself doesn't even have a hero's journey or a lesson to learn. He's just a nice wholesome guy who wants to marry a nice wholesome woman. The film introduces him at a time when his girlfriend helped him to become a better man, so he has no character flaws to overcome or anything to prove. I wouldn't even say that he goes on any kind of exciting adventure. He spends most of the film trapped in jail until Death feels sorry for him and kicks him back for the day.
Alright. Bye-bye!
The stakes only become interesting once Stu returns to Earth in the body of a dead gymnast. This is when we finally feel a sense of urgency, because now Stu is in the same plane as Monkeybone, but is greatly disadvantaged by being stuck inside a decaying body with organs falling out of it. Stu has to adapt to and survive as a zombie while escaping doctors who need his organs. Plus, Monkeybone is finally becoming a genuine threat, because this is when he plans to release the nightmare juice on the unsuspecting public. And Chris Kattan does a terrific job at pretending to be Brendan Fraser trapped in a dead body. He gets Brendan's quirks and traits down really well, and we buy that he's a reanimated corpse.
Hey! Mr. Snyder! Hey! Oh, wow! Car's looking good!
The problem is that all this tension and excitement doesn't happen until the last half an hour of the movie, yet we have to wait a whole hour until there's any sense of one-on-one conflict between Monkeybone and Stu.
Thanks!
So I've put most of my energy into this review explaining everything that doesn't work about Monkeybone, which means you may be wondering why I still think that it's not as bad as its reputation has made it out to be. Well, the main reason is that the film is honestly weird enough for me to not get too mad at it. It's not a well-made movie, not in the slightest, but at least it's a strange bad movie. I prefer a quirky and bizarre bad movie than a boring, passionless flop. The execution of the ideas could have been done much better, but there's still this disturbing atmosphere to the movie that makes it at least memorable. I had this nauseating feeling from all the nightmare-fueled visuals. Henry Selick specialises in the macabre and grotesque, so the best parts of Monkeybone are when he's allowed to indulge in his dark imagination.
No, Julie!
Not to mention, it's still a highlight to see Selick stop-motion characters in this movie, because Selick really is a master of this animation technique.
Hello, handsome. Like cigars? We got them cheap. Genuine Cubans.
Hey, fella! How about his shoe shine?
The other aspect of this movie that kind of saved it for me was the character of Julie. For a 2000s raunchy comedy love interest, she's actually pretty well written. She's not this one-dimensional woman who is only here to be sad for her boyfriend while he's in a coma. She's a passionate scientist and the smartest character in the movie. Julie doesn't just work hard with her team to create a nightmare potion to traumatize Stu into waking up from his coma.
5 cc's.
She's also the first person to catch on that Stu has been acting weird since he woke up.
The thing is, I'm responsible for the way he's acting. It's the nightmare juice, it's gotta be.
Julie, that stuff probably saved his life.
He's not Stu anymore.
Heck, when Stu appears to Julie in a dead body, Julie manages to quickly suspect that this gross-looking crazy man is actually possibly Stu. All because she really truly knows Stu better than anyone else.
Don't lie to me. Is it you?
I had to come back, Julie.
To conclude, Monkeybone is a very confused and messy movie that doesn't know its target audience, lacks a lot of originality, and suffers from a weak plot. However, I refuse to write it off completely, because it does have a few redeeming qualities that kind of save it from being a total disaster. Really, I've seen so much worse than Monkeybone, folks. So what did you think of Monkeybone? Let everyone know in the comments below, and don't forget to click that like button. I've been Jamboree, feel free to subscribe, and cheerio, folks.